Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and if you're new to the channel, what I like to do here is give my thoughts and crazy thoughts and opinions on news that is going around the globe on a daily basis. And I really do like to find weird conspiratorial ties to all these stories sometimes. So if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you would hit that like and subscribe button. And with that said, it's time to... So, with a lot of advancements in technology, a lot of people are, having fun with this AI and the AI generators and, a lot of this new advancements in video generation with this Google VO3s. And a lot of stuff is getting pretty creepy with its technological abilities. And with AI supposedly, advancing in this rapid rate, people are saying a lot of really scary stories about, trying to shut down, giving it shutdown prompts and it's trying to not listen to us anymore and things like that. They try to reestablish, install a new type of program, so get rid of the old program, and apparently this AI tried to copy itself on household appliances and stuff like that. Like weird stuff you would see in here in about scary movies. When I talked about my last episode about the predictive programming, you see that stuff in films. All these AIs, go to hide places. Eagle Eye. That thing worked for the military, which just decided to just threaten everybody and, set up and, plan a bomb and everything. A lot of crazy possibilities. And I'm also speaking about a movie, not talking about a real thing. But, with this predictive programming stuff, we have a lot of weird angles.
I'm currently at the border, but there is no war. Mom, Dad, I know this looks kind of real, but it's all AI.
And some people always get afraid of the chance of AI, bringing back the fears of it getting so advanced that it's going to, for some reason, want to take over the world. And for some reason, also, every scenario is a bad scenario. We every time they talk to us about a future scenario, they're never positive unless you read the Bible or old books of historians where they're you can reach the golden age and you can reach enlightenment and things like that. But when it comes to our stories, we're going to go to war and get conquered and it's going to be just a blaze of fire. Everything's going to be going, just everything's fear. You know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with that tactic. So, I'm kind of getting tired of that tactic. I feel like they should give us a new one, You'll be too happy. Maybe that might freak us out. You never know. You could try some reverse psychology. And with the advancements in a lot of our so-called technology, I always say things like, are we really advanced? It's still all ran electrically, it's electrical, okay? And a lot of our new advancements in financial, in the financial game is, digital currencies. A lot of people, it's very popular. It's very good investments. People are doing it in larger scales. There's new ways to invest. And it's a real exciting new thing of the future. And a lot of people are, dipping their feet in it and everything of the cryptocurrencies and whatnot and digital currencies. And then you want to think about something a little scary. If this AI is supposedly angry at the humans or wants to take over humans and, find a way to get at us. What if it goes after, not only goes after, what if the AI is actually, promoting all this digital currencies for the setup? What if this is the bump set spike for the AI? It's coming around and telling you this is great. We're going to help you in the medically. It's going to cure a bunch of diseases and make sure we need it. Okay. It's going to do some crazy magic and give us some crazy miracles, right? Kind of like that Antichrist thing they talk about in the Bible, right? It's almost like a description. This thing could pull off these miracles and we're going to be like, oh my gosh. We want you to do this again, for us, right? And AI is going to be like, that's cool, just keep on, why don't you guys put this money digitally, we can make it faster. And so they show people getting all these crazy returns and they're making it all real appealing and people drooling and people are coming rich off this cryptocurrency. And then more people kind of do it and maybe it all goes under, that conspiracy comes real where they want the one currency across the globe and the one government type deal, right? And what if this was all persuaded by artificial intelligence?
You're probably wondering how I got rich with crypto. The truth is, I didn't get rich off crypto. I don't even exist.
You might be able to tell this is fake now, but it's going to keep getting better.
Because this would be a full control and one full swipe. Everybody's got the one currency and it's digital now. And government can control you if you ain't but paying your bills. Be like, oh, you have Zip. You know, automatic cars, you don't drive no more. And like, say if you got parking tickets or you're late on a payment, the car can just drive you to court. Just drive you ass to court and be like, hey, man, they told us you got to be here. And you don't have that choice if you're in the car, you know, because you don't drive your car no more. It's not your car, right? All these crazy things could be happening in the future, which could cause a lot of problems. And that's, I can see why it could cause fears, right? But let's say, like I said, we get too dependent on like this digital currency. It becomes a global, you know, a global thing around the world, a global trading, a global bartering type of deal, and a new currency for all, right? And then the AI decides that like, this is how I'm going to do it. And then ha-cha, and it just chops all the money off one swipe. And the crazy part is, let's say it attacks the electrical grid, you know, or whatever. We attack the electrical grid, like a lot of the World Economic Forum spoke on it a lot. You know, I watched a Candace Owens show a lot, and she's speaking from the World Economic Forum. They literally put it on the website. And I did an episode way long time ago. It's like you can go to the website and they were showing, you know, COVID simulations and, you know, now this one could be the electrical grid simulations and things like that. But, you know, let's say all our money gets shut off by the robots. First thing that happens, they already know statistically we're going to freak out, and we're going to take TVs, but we won't have electricity, which would be crazy. Like, you can't even run it because you can't pay your electrical bill, so that's useless. But you're going to still go and steal all the TVs first, right? Then when they're sick of stealing TVs, we're going to rob and steal from each other and hurt each other, probably kill each other and beat each other, while the robots who designed the whole thing will be safe and like let us like do most of the work. Kind of like, you know, the systems that designed by the big system, you know, by the big people in charge. You know, the big people in charge have a system that, you know, gets us angry, and we go after each other and attack each other, kill each other, steal from each other, while they sit there and get richer and richer and, you know, make more divides, you know, eliminate more classes of living and just keep theirs going the same. You know, rich, middle class, poor, and then middle's like, now it's going to be rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, you know, because of their system. And being that it's a patternistic, algorithmic way of our past, future, and present, or, you know, past and present, you know, things like that, it'd probably be easy for them to look it up and see this, especially the way we always fight. Like, all our history has been fighting in wars, and they'd be like, man, these guys like to fight. You know, we could probably just make them do it themselves. Look how these banks funded both sides of these wars in history, and the robot will get all these things, and they'll just use it against us if they're just not doing it now. That's why I'd be afraid. But I think it will get dark for a little bit, because we'll be going after each other and, you know, like I said, hurting each other, going after each other, until we realize it's pointless. We should be trying to work together to get rid of the people that's like, you know, the system designers. And it's something we need to really pay attention about. And it's kind of spooky when you think about those kind of futures, like this was totally like hypothetical and things like that. But, you know, it's, you know, being the way that they feed us this kind of chaos all around the world, and the advancements in our technology, sometimes maybe this AI thing could be getting a little bit faster than we can hold on to it. And that's why I feel it's got a more realistic fear, and more of a possibility, because we're really seeing like a lot of people are just quickly to go independent on it. Young kids are using it a lot in school. Teachers are using it in the business. People are using it at work. I mean, it's kind of like that, you know, we don't want to get that Wall-E dependency where it's like a little bit too much there, where we forget about it and we're all just big, before we know it, we're useless blobs in floating chairs. But, you know, like I said, hopefully we can keep our hands on those plugs. I bring that up a lot. Like, we got to have like a real definite, you know, potent kill switch of some sort. I don't know. But they're probably ahead of the game. There's got to be some way. I mean, we got to watch more movies, I guess, to figure it out. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time, see Yeah.